Oh god, when everything is spiraling out of control and only 10 people have turned up to your key speech, when you decide to accidentally post pictures, look at this, of your husband having an argument with the nanny on your wedding day, then what more is there to do than yet another disastrous advertising post making zero
lot of just her. And that one photo that you were just talking about is such a bad mistake. Well, it's interesting because you would have thought that somebody who had been there on that day, Serena, Oprah, the Clooneys, Priyanka Chopra.
Yes.
24 photographs. That is what Meghan Markle chose to post on the morning of her 8th wedding anniversary. 24 images, curated personally, uploaded to her Instagram account with its 4.5 million followers, presented to the world as her version of the day she married Prince Harry at Windsor Castle on the 19th of May 2018.
All of the celebrity friends, right, who usually, and she proves it, post tributes all the time to other celebrities, right? Like they Oprah or Gayle King. Look at all of the people who they love celebrating, love talking about their big moments.
24 photographs. 1 Elton John. 0 family members. And a silence from every single celebrity who attended that wedding, so complete, so unanimous, so deafening, that it told its own story entirely without words. Welcome back. Today we are walking through that carousel photograph by photograph, who is in it, who is not, and why the choices Meghan made in that curation tell you more about the current state of the Sussex marriage, the Sussex brand, and the Sussex social circle than any interview, any documentary, or any carefully worded statement from their communications team ever could. Let us start with what she posted. The carousel opened with a corkboard-style collage, then moved into individual photographs. Several previously unseen. Meghan in the Givenchy ceremony gown, standing alone in a hallway, looking down at the floor.
And I tell you what, he just looked like a little rag doll in her arms. You know, she clearly was director of operations on that day, and you could almost see from those pictures this poor innocent ginger guy, a lamb to the slaughter, being sucked into Meghan's mouth.
Meghan in the backless Stella McCartney reception gown, dancing with her arms above her head, alone. A kiss. Another kiss. At least 6 different solo shots of her in various corners of that day, getting ready, posing, moving through the spaces of Windsor Castle as though the day itself was a solo performance rather than a shared beginning. Harry appears in roughly a quarter of the frames. He is present. But in the images that reviewers who went through the carousel carefully have described, he reads less like the central figure of his own wedding day and more like a supporting character in someone else's story. One image in particular struck observers, the two of them close together, Meghan gripping his face, Harry with an expression that read, to those watching, as less than fully present. Candid in the wrong direction. Not the kind of image most people would choose for their public anniversary post. But Meghan chose it. And the choosing is the whole point. Now let us count what is not there. Because this is where the carousel becomes genuinely extraordinary. Doria Ragland. Meghan's mother. The woman who flew in from Los Angeles to sit alone in the front pew of St. George's Chapel on her daughter's wedding day, alone on the bride's side, the only Markle family member present. The woman who was photographed weeping with joy during the ceremony. Who laughed at the reception. Who held Meghan's hand on the chapel steps. Who wore a duck egg blue Oscar de la Renta dress that became one of the defining images of the entire day. In 24 photographs curated personally by Meghan Markle and posted to 4.5 million people on the 8th anniversary of the day Doria walked her down that aisle, Doria does not appear. Not once. Not in the collage. Not in the candids. Not in the getting ready shots. Not anywhere. The official wedding photographer Alexei Lubomirsky took formal portraits of Meghan with her mother. Those images were released publicly in 2018. Meghan has access to the entire archive. She could have chosen any frame, any candid, any pose. She chose none of them. This is not a privacy decision. Privacy decisions affect what other people post about you. This was Meghan's own carousel. Every choice was hers. And in the version of her wedding day she wanted the world to see on her 8th anniversary, the woman who raised her, who sat alone on that pew, who wept at the altar, who danced at the reception, that woman was edited out entirely. Now consider what else was edited out. King Charles, then the Prince of Wales, walked Meghan down the second half of the aisle after her own father withdrew from the wedding days before. It was an act of personal kindness that royal historians described at the time as one of the more generous gestures of welcome the institution had extended to a new royal in a generation. He is not in the carousel. Queen Elizabeth II attended the ceremony, approved the venue, approved the carriage procession, and on the morning of the wedding gave Harry the Sussex dukedom itself. She is not in the carousel. Prince William and Catherine attended the wedding. Their children George and Charlotte served as page and bridesmaid. None of them appear. The entire British royal family, the institution that hosted the wedding, that paid for the wedding, that gave Harry and Meghan the platform and the global reach that made that wedding one of the most watched television events of 2018, has been removed from Meghan's public memory of the day. Completely. Deliberately. Without explanation. And then there is the celebrity count. Because the guest list at that Windsor wedding read like the closing credits of a Hollywood blockbuster. George and Amal Clooney. David and Victoria Beckham. Oprah Winfrey. Serena Williams. Priyanka Chopra. Idris Elba. James Corden. All of them there. All of them photographed. All of them part of a day that generated more celebrity coverage than almost any other event of that year. In 24 photographs, one celebrity face. Elton John. One image, in the corner of one shot from the reception. And here is the detail that makes that choice particularly telling. According to reporting from the Daily Mail's Alison Boshoff, who went through the carousel with the methodical attention of someone who has been covering this story for years, Elton John is not Meghan's friend. He is Harry's. His connection to the Sussex household runs through Harry's relationship with Diana's memory, through the bond that formed between Harry and Elton in the years after Diana's death. The one celebrity Meghan chose to include in her public wedding album is someone whose loyalty belongs to her husband, not to her. And the people whose loyalty might genuinely have belonged to Meghan? The Clooneys, who came to that 2018 wedding having reportedly never met the bride and groom before that day. They attended King Charles's charity party last week. They are photographed with people. Just not with Meghan. Oprah, who sat in that chapel and later conducted the interview that generated one of the most explosive royal news cycles of the decade, she has not been publicly seen with Meghan in years. Victoria Beckham, who attended the ceremony, she and David have been photographed instead with William and Catherine. Serena Williams, by most accounts Meghan's closest genuine friend from that guest list, even she, per the most recent reporting, has cooled considerably. The social ledger of someone whose 8th anniversary carousel contains one Elton John and a lot of mirror selfies is a social ledger that tells a story. These are not people who forgot to post anniversary tributes. These are people who were there on the day. Who have been in the position to reach out, to mark the milestone, to say something warm about a couple they claim to have cared for. The silence was, as one observer put it, utterly damning. Now let us talk about the candle. Because the commercial dimension of this anniversary post is something that cannot be allowed to pass without examination. The 8th anniversary gift, as Meghan was careful to point out in her own post, is traditionally bronze. Harry gave her a bronze penguin, a callback to a story about the couple wearing penguin onesies at a party years ago, because penguins, as Meghan explained to the camera, mate for life. It is a sweet story. It is also, within hours of being posted, the basis for a product. The As Ever Wedding Anniversary Candle. Launched in conjunction with the anniversary post. Described in marketing copy as capturing the feeling of warm sunshine and blue skies surrounded by love and laughter, holding the ease and joy of a day that holds Meghan's most cherished memories. A candle. Commemorating a wedding that was attended by the British royal family, hosted at a royal castle, paid for in significant part by the British taxpayer, and conducted under the full weight and ceremony of the monarchy. Merched. As one observer noted with barely contained disbelief, she has merched the Queen. She has merched her children. Now she is merching her wedding. Of course she is. It is the natural endpoint of a brand that has run out of material and is now consuming its own history. And then there is Harry. Because Harry is present in this story in a way that is almost painful to examine. 7 months ago, in October, Harry sat down with American comedian Hassan Minhaj on his podcast. They talked about social media. About what they would do when their children asked for mobile phones one day. And Harry said something that is now sitting very uncomfortably alongside everything his wife posted this Tuesday. He said that because of what he knows now, he and Meghan will be way more cautious and hesitant about allowing their children access to social media. He called the people running these platforms evil and wicked. He talked about farming children's mindsets for profit. And on Tuesday, his wife posted a carousel of 24 wedding photographs to 4.5 million strangers. She included a clip of their children singing happy anniversary to their mother. She showed the bronze penguin. She narrated the penguin story to the camera. She used their children's voices, their children's faces partially visible, their children's participation in a commercial anniversary post tied directly to a product launch, on the exact platform that Harry described as being run by evil and wicked people 7 months ago. Those two things cannot both be true. The Harry who said we will be way more cautious and hesitant about social media and the household that posted what was posted on Tuesday are not the same story. And somewhere between those two versions of the truth is the actual marriage, the actual dynamic, the actual distribution of power within the Sussex household, which the carousel, with its solo shots and its absent mother and its single borrowed celebrity and its bronze penguin candle, does something to illuminate. One more thing. On the 6th of June, Peter Phillips, Princess Anne's son, the late Queen's eldest grandchild, and someone who shared a genuine bond with Harry formed in the darkest days of Harry's grief over Diana, will marry Harriet Spurling at All Saints Church in Kempsford. King Charles is invited. Queen Camilla is invited. William and Catherine are invited. Beatrice and Eugenie have accepted. Harry and Meghan are not on the guest list. A family wedding. A celebration that Harry, in any version of his life that did not take the turns it took, would have been part of as a matter of course. The cousin who sat with him at Balmoral when he was 12 and lost and devastated getting married, and Harry not there. Not because the bond is gone, but because the circus that follows the Sussex name has made it impossible for anyone around them to host a celebration without that celebration becoming, at least partly, about them. 8 years. 24 photographs. 1 Elton John. 0 family. A candle. A bronze penguin. And a guest list for a June wedding that says more about where Harry and Meghan actually stand than any anniversary post ever could. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who care about the real story. Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next video. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.